Every unnecessary payment steals money from your future self. Most people never think about spending this way. They view purchases as isolated events that affect only the present moment. A streaming subscription feels harmless. A delivery fee seems insignificant. An impulse purchase appears affordable. A financing payment feels manageable. Each transaction looks small when viewed individually. The problem is that financial decisions never exist in isolation. Every dollar spent today loses the ability to serve a future purpose. That dollar can no longer be invested. It can no longer reduce debt. It can no longer strengthen an emergency fund. It can no longer purchase ownership. Most people focus on what they gain when they spend money. Wealthy individuals often focus on what they give up. This concept is called opportunity cost. Every financial decision creates a trade-off. $100 spent today is not simply $100 gone. It is the future value of that $100 that disappears as well. Another important lesson is understanding that the future version of yourself is a real person. That person will face emergencies. That person will experience opportunities. That person will eventually want flexibility and financial security. Yet many people unknowingly make life harder for their future selves by prioritizing short-term gratification over long-term progress. Another major issue is that modern financial systems encourage present-focused thinking. Advertising constantly promotes immediate satisfaction. Financing options remove the pain of spending. By dash now, dash pay, dash later, programs separate purchases from consequences. Convenient services make spending effortless. The result is a culture that rewards immediate consumption while ignoring future costs. Wealthy individuals frequently reverse this mindset. Before spending, they ask a different question. Instead of asking whether they can afford something today, they ask whether the purchase improves or harms their future financial position. That simple shift creates dramatically different outcomes over time. One of the biggest reasons future wealth disappears is because people underestimate the power of repetition. Most financial mistakes are not catastrophic. They are repetitive. A daily coffee purchase seems insignificant. A few delivery fees each week feel manageable. Several unused subscriptions appear affordable. Yet repeated behavior creates outcomes far larger than individual decisions. Someone spending $20 per day on unnecessary purchases may not notice the impact immediately. Over the course of a year, however, that spending exceeds $7,000. Over 10 years, the number becomes extraordinary. Another important lesson is that small financial leaks rarely attract attention because they do not create immediate pain. Large purchases feel significant. Small purchases feel invisible. This is why so many consumers lose thousands of dollars without realizing it. Wealthy individuals frequently monitor recurring behavior rather than isolated spending events. They understand that financial freedom is often determined by habits rather than income. Another major issue is convenience spending. Modern consumers pay premiums for speed, comfort, and simplicity every day. Food delivery replaces cooking. Subscription services replace ownership. Convenience stores replace planning. While each decision appears reasonable, the cumulative cost becomes enormous. Another important principle is understanding that future wealth is built through accumulation. Every dollar saved creates additional opportunities. Every dollar invested begins generating future growth. Every dollar directed toward ownership improves financial flexibility. The opposite is also true. Every unnecessary expense reduces future options. Another critical lesson is recognizing that wealth building rarely feels dramatic. It often looks boring. Small investments, controlled spending, consistent saving, automated systems. Those actions rarely create excitement, but they create results. Most people sacrifice long-term freedom for short-term convenience because they underestimate how powerful small decisions become when repeated over many years. The future self ultimately lives with the consequences of today's habits. Another major lesson is understanding how debt steals from the future. Most people view debt as a present-day solution. They use credit cards to solve immediate problems. They finance purchases to reduce short-term pressure. They accept monthly payments because they feel affordable. Unfortunately, every debt obligation claims future income before it is earned. Future paychecks become partially committed. Future opportunities become more difficult to pursue. Future flexibility begins disappearing. Wealthy individuals often understand that debt is not simply about balances. It is about future cash flow. Every dollar used to make debt payments is a dollar unavailable for investing, saving, or ownership. Another important principle is recognizing how interest compounds against consumers. Many people understand compound growth when investing. Fewer understand compound costs when borrowing. Interest increases the true cost of purchases dramatically over time. A purchase that felt affordable initially may ultimately cost hundreds or thousands more because of financing. Another major issue is lifestyle inflation. As income rises, spending frequently rises alongside it. Raises become larger homes, new vehicles, additional subscriptions, more convenient services. Financial pressure remains because the underlying system never changes. Wealthy individuals often reverse this pattern intentionally. When income increases, ownership increases first. Investing increases first. Saving increases first. Saving increases first. Lifestyle improvements happen later. Another important lesson is understanding that freedom comes from having options. Options come from strong cash flow, low obligations, and growing assets. Debt often creates the opposite outcome. It reduces flexibility while increasing dependency on future income. Another critical principle is viewing financial decisions through a long-term lens. Every payment either increases future freedom or decreases it. Every financial commitment either expands opportunities or limits them. The future version of yourself will eventually inherit every financial choice being made today. Another important reason future selves struggle financially is because people often confuse income with wealth. Many consumers believe earning more money automatically solves financial problems. Yet, countless high earners remain financially stressed because spending expands alongside income. Wealthy individuals frequently understand that wealth is not determined by what enters a bank account. Wealth is determined by what remains and what grows. Another major lesson is understanding the difference between consumption and ownership. Consumption provides temporary satisfaction. Ownership creates future value. A consumer purchase may provide enjoyment today. An investment may provide opportunities for decades. This does not mean spending should never happen. It means spending should be intentional. Another important principle is delayed gratification. Modern culture encourages immediate rewards. Wealth building often requires the opposite approach. Delaying certain purchases today frequently creates much larger opportunities later. Another major issue is emotional spending. People frequently spend because they feel stressed, bored, frustrated, or exhausted. The purchase creates temporary relief. Unfortunately, the financial consequences remain long after the emotional benefit disappears. Wealthy individuals often reduce emotional spending by creating systems. Savings become automatic. Investing becomes automatic. Debt reduction becomes automatic. Positive financial behavior occurs before emotions have an opportunity to interfere. Another important lesson is that financial freedom is usually built through systems rather than motivation. Motivation changes constantly. Systems continue functioning regardless of emotional conditions. Another critical principle is patience. Most people want immediate results. Wealth building rarely works that way. Compound growth often appears invisible before becoming obvious. Small contributions made consistently over many years create outcomes that seem extraordinary to those focused only on short-term results. Future financial security rarely comes from one brilliant decision. It comes from thousands of small decisions made correctly over time. The truth is that your future self is either being helped or harmed by every financial decision you make today. Every unnecessary payment steals resources that could have created future freedom. Every dollar wasted reduces future flexibility. Every dollar invested increases future opportunity. Wealthy individuals understand that financial success is not about perfection. It is about direction. The goal is not eliminating every unnecessary expense. The goal is ensuring that money consistently moves toward ownership, growth, and freedom. Another important lesson is understanding that awareness creates control. Once spending patterns become visible, improvements become possible. Once financial leaks become measurable, they become manageable. Another major principle is assigning every dollar a purpose. Money without direction usually finds its way toward consumption. Money with direction builds wealth. Another important lesson is automation. Automated savings, automated investing, automated debt reduction, automated wealth building. Systems survive stressful periods better than motivation ever could. Another major principle is consistency. Most people search for dramatic financial breakthroughs while ignoring small systems capable of producing extraordinary long-term results. Small actions repeated monthly often outperform large actions performed occasionally. Another critical lesson is understanding that financial freedom is ultimately about control. Control over time, control over opportunities, control over future decisions. That control is built gradually through intentional money movement. Protect your future self. Reduce unnecessary spending. Increase ownership. Build assets. Invest consistently. Stay patient. Let compound growth work. If this helped, then like and subscribe to the Daily Yield, because we're building real financial progress, one step at a time.